Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. I'm your host, Andy. In this video, we are talking about the late night news of Newcastle United have a bid rejected for Lucas Bergvall. What it looks like, what it means for Nottingham Forest in this deal as well. There's plenty to get into and talk about. Let's not beat around the bush. So David Ornstein, 13 hours ago, put an exclusive out saying that Newcastle United make an offer to sign Lucas Bergvall from Tottenham Hotspur. The proposal of the 20-year-old midfielder is 46 million. It's turned down by Spurs. Obviously, Spurs have rejected all bids so far. Forest have had lower and bids higher than the Newcastle one, but will consider a sale at the right price. Sorry. Now, there was that, but there was also Fabrizio Romano. Where is it? Hang on a second. Yeah, Fabrizio Romano saying the same thing, that they're both in talks with Tottenham over Lucas Bergvall. The highest proposal is from Forest, but Newcastle can obviously offer what you might deem a better project. You might deem it that. Now, there's something else I'm going to bring in just a second, but 46 million right now, I sort of said the number has to be a minimum 50 and up. So I'd probably, for me, I'd be sitting there saying 50 and add-ons, 50 and a sell-on, that kind of vibe. Vuskovic was 50 million, right? He's 50 million. He's not played a game in the Premier League whatsoever. Bergvall has played, 70, 80 games for Tottenham. He's been dependable. He's been quite solid. He's shown flashes. Then, in reality, he should be more, right? Yes, I get that the hype around, but Vuskovic is very, very good. Not going to deny that. And, technically, Bergvall was a little bit older. He's 20 years old. I know, he's old, isn't he? But I'm just looking at his contract length, just so we get an idea of sort of what we're working with. He's got a long-term deal. It is just loading. Hang on. Should have done this beforehand, but you know me. When would I ever be prepared? Here we go. Contract expires in 2031. So we've got him on a multi-year deal. So yeah, I think Spurs are probably looking around 60 million, if I'm honest. You think 2031, got a 5-year contract. I'm thinking Spurs are probably looking at a £60 million deal, something around that, to be honest. Now, there was one other little bit of information that came out that I found quite interesting, is they were talking about how, let's say Tonali to us, Bergvall to Newcastle, right? And what they've said from it is there's been a bit of a change in the UEFA rules. So previously, any deals between the same clubs in the same window were captured as a player exchange. On June 1st, so, about 6 weeks ago, UEFA changed the rule. If you now wait at least 45 days, it is automatically, it's not automatically a player exchange, opens the door for a Newcastle deal, right? Normally, so what it is obviously it remains important because Newcastle are in a settlement regime, so cannot afford discounted player trading profits. So Tonali, let's say they made 30 million on profits, this would obviously counteract that, right? So being it now 45 days on, it won't do that. And both clubs expect to be back in Europe in the future where this summer's trading profits will be used. So that's why it's also quite key. Now, I'm seeing reports that Spurs, they need to sell, they need to sell, they need to sell. Spurs do not need to sell. It's still the case. Spurs do not need to sell. But they do need to sell for one reason only. A bloated squad. So, we talked about Basuma being gone. Dragić's now gone. Veli's gone. Paulinho and Colomwani gone back. You think Vicario's going to go. Romero will go. There's talk about Spence potentially going. I think a lot of deals are going to speed up in the next couple of weeks, obviously with the World Cup finishing up, tomorrow. It will speed up quite a bit. Now, there's obviously still question marks on Tell. Obviously, Bergvall, there's still, Archie Gray, there was links of Archie Gray in Newcastle, wasn't there? So there's that conversation to have, Richarlison's conversation to have. So there's plenty still to go on about, really. I think Bergvall will get sold, if I'm honest. And if he does, I hope to get a bit of a ransom deal like we do with Vuskovic. I hope we do with Bergvall. But let me know your thoughts down below. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. Peace.